just showed us.
Cool. Well, I'm happy to join in our meet and greet. Who's running the show here? Is that Olga?
Today we invited two our students. One it's alumni and the students of the first year. Okay, dear students, your floor, please. Okay.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Ukrainian-American Concordia University is very glad to welcome all of you. Years go by, but we still remember all our graduates, and thank you all for remembering about your university and for joining us today. As far as you see, international alumni and also guests managed to join us today. So I suggest that it would be better if today's working languages will be both English and Ukrainian. For the previous year's alumni, this meeting is the chance to keep in touch with the university, and for this year graduates who are also on the meeting now, it will be the chance to listen to the stories of our alumni and to find some useful information for their future. We hope that even though the format of today's meeting is online and due to the well-known circumstances, we hope that you will still enjoy today's event. And right now, I'd like to give the floor to our first speaker, Professor Julia Romanovska, the Vice Rector of Ukrainian-American Concordia University and PhD in philology.
Well, thank you so much. Well, I'm sorry, it's 6 o'clock and the bells are ringing very loudly in the church nearby, so I don't know if it interferes, then I can speak a bit later. What do you think?
It's fine.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Yeah, I don't hear the, I was gonna say, what church bells? No church bells.
Okay, maybe Julia, you are right. Maybe I will start from our achievement shortly. Yes, but maybe you paid attention that in Ukraine today, very bad connection with Lisa. Today I lost my connection, and we try to do something. So everything can happen. So I hope that you will understand. So just firstly, I would like to tell about our achievements. Yes, USCU was founded in 1997, and during this time, more than one student successfully graduated from our university. So what we propose? We propose the following academic degrees: bachelor, master, and PhD. Our university has Ukrainian accreditation. We are accredited of the Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine, and we have international accreditation. Both program, bachelor and master degree programs, are accredited by FIBA Accreditation Commission. We are a member of Council for Higher Education Accreditation. We propose the following programs for bachelor degree. There are the management, IT management, BBA in management and international business, international economic relation, international business, master of business administration, and PhD in economics. So just now we are in the process of registration for exam for master's degree program. Deadline for registration is till May 31st. If some of our alumni are interested in this program, please contact with Marina Mostova. Here you can see her email, and just now this email will be showed just in the chat. And of course, we are proposing a PhD program. PhD program enrollment for PhD program is during full year. For this question, you can address for Galina Bivzo. Here you can see her email, and just her email will be appeared in the chat. So please join for all these programs. Then, of course, we are working with our international university, the main university, Concordia University, Wisconsin, but additionally, it's not the USA, but Canada, Germany, Belgium, and Poland, you can see here. About our mobility, we're trying to make a connection with all these university. Here you can see the list of the main university, and I would like to mention that we propose this not only distantly or online, but at the campuses also. Concerning this question, students can address to me. Just now you in chat will be my email. Additionally, we propose the following programs for high schools. It's an English school, business English competition, where the best students can get scholarship, HMNC project, master classes, and workshops. Galina Bivzo and Olga Glazova were responsible for these projects. Of course, we are very interested for in cooperation with our alumni, and we are interested in the following directions. Of course, first of all, we would like to see you through like guest speakers. We invited you for our conference, PhD program, some researching, publishing, and so on. We're interested a lot in entrepreneurship, and today we invited some of our alumni, and they will share with you this information. So then we would like to return and invite you in participating in some sport events, ceremonies, celebration, and programs abroad. We are interested in your advice for in our marketing, and of course you are welcome to be membership in our supervisory board. What else? What we can offer just now to our alumni? First of all, it's Coursera. It's a global online learning platform from leading university and companies. Just now, for our alumni, it's free. It's free. How to sign in for this possibility? So our alumni must have an email address associated with our university. So here you can see email of our colleague. You just only need to send the request with your name and surname, just to write that you are alumni of our university, and better to add just year when did you graduate from the university, and another person who's responsible who can just follow you and help with the registration, Vladislav Natochi. He's here also, and all these emails will be just now in our chat. The next point, if you have just friends, and if your friends just are planning to enter and choose in university, you can share information about our university. And if these just applicants from the occupied territories, they can get a scholarship from our university. And as all university, of course, we are interested, and we are looking for the best high school pupils were given for such applicants scholarship. Of course, it must be best result of testing of the Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine. For this just direction, Galina Buzo is responsible. So it's just short information what I wanted to tell you, and I hope that we would like to make our connection and the contact with our alumni more closer. I hope for this, and I invite you. Thank you very much. And Arseny, would you like to add something? I see.
No, I just wanted to thank you for this kind of information. As a student of this university, I can definitely support all the ideas that you just mentioned. And yeah,
thank you.
I mean,
thank you.
Take the opportunity when it comes.
Yulia, maybe you will add
Yeah.
something.
Now I'm ready. At least there is silence from my side, so I can speak. Well, that's very nice to see our alumni, our graduates, and also our students who are going to become graduates like in some days or in future. Thank you for joining us on Friday evening when you could have some other things to do. We understand it. Well, but we really need more close connection with our alumni. It's a good tendency all over the world, and Ukraine is also following it, and we would like to be in more closer contact with you. Though, of course, we are in contact via social networks. We have our graduates from time to time studying, teaching at our university, having Flo as guest lecturers, friends, and so we are enjoying this very much. Looking forward to the moment when Ukraine gets the victory and we will be able to communicate in more friendly atmosphere, not via screens, but in person. Looking forward for this moment very much. But anyway, we have to use the technologies, and from one side, it's even easier because you can be in other countries, on other continents, and we can join together, and it would not be possible just to meet all of us at one place and at definite time. So let's use what we have. We wish you safe time, and as soon as possible for Ukraine to get victory in this awful war. Yeah, Olga gave you well, a full picture. I don't have any presentation to add. What I only want to add to these projects we are having the project HMC project. Now our alumni have already grown up kids. Many of our alumni have grown up kids. So this program HMC is right to them, to high school students, not university, but high school students. And this is the program with Britain, Great Britain. And the selection of the best students leads to the scholarship. Last year there were many scholarships because the war started, and all the world, of course, was very much supporting Ukraine. This year we have less scholarships, but anyway, we have good winners of the competition, and kids will go for 2 years to study in Great Britain in private, very high level schools, boarding schools with full scholarship or partial scholarships, depending on the results of the competition. So from November, we will start the new competition for the same scholarships for the next academic year. So it's very interesting. Also, during this year, a lot of our students were studying at our partner universities. These were online courses which the students got the opportunity to take from our university without any additional payment. And also 3 German universities were very eager, and they took a lot of our students to study in Germany on their campus with scholarships from Erasmus Plus organization and from DAAD. For the coming semester, we have got just now 5 scholarships from DAAD. This is the German organization promoting German education throughout the world. And they gave us full 5 scholarships. It's about 1,000 euros per month, plus some fees for orientation session and some other points. So it's very good. Also, our students are taking German language online from German universities and also get scholarships. Those students who are in Ukraine, they get like 200 euros per month. And those students who are in Germany, they get, well, I don't remember how much, Olga, like 800, yeah, 800 something. 800 something per month. So it's also very good support for us, for the students. So let's study not only English, but well, we know it already, but let's study German as well. It helps. Well, I'm personally now in Germany. That's why I have an opportunity to work with German universities more intensely. Olga visited us and was here for about a month. And we also had an opportunity to visit 5 German leading universities in the area of Mainz and Frankfurt. Also, our American colleagues, Elaine Serrao was here in Germany for about a month. Paul Thomas was like 3 times here, and we are looking forward to meeting him again. So I think that maybe we will have a kind of a representative office here in the end, so that we can be here and there and everywhere together. So thank you. I will not take much of your time, more of your time. It would be nice to hear some words from our alumni about your success, about your history. Well, so thank you very much again for joining us.
Thank you.
So thank you. And now I want to give the floor to Paul Thomas, the master's degree in economy, honorary professor, honorary doctor of economics and finance, special advisor to the Ukrainian-American Concordia University rector and the member of advisory board and the president and partner of IRE USA Incorporation and IRE Ukraine LC. So you're welcome.
We have to shorten that introduction. Every time I hear that, I feel like I'm 300 years old. It's like, let's just come down and say, he's a professor. You know, I have a couple of general comments and maybe a couple specific, you know, to all of our alumni here. You know, a university, it's only as good as its alumni. And so the best thing you can do for your university, because now that you're an alumnus, it is your university, is just go out and be successful, lead by example, right? I mean, be successful personally, be successful professionally, make sure everybody knows where you went to, what university you went to as you're being personally and professionally successful. Because, you know, the more successful you are, the more people are going to want to be like you. And being like you means to attend, you know, a unique university like ours. You know, we're independent and we're ethical. We're dedicated to providing an affordable education for students around the world, especially Ukraine. You know, something specific you could do, especially those of you who have graduated recently or are graduating now, you might take a few minutes and just write a few words of advice, for example, for future students who will enter in September. Because those of you who have been around the last few years have had to deal with just, you know, unbelievably difficult circumstances, right? You know, I mean, COVID and the war and, you know, doing things online. And there's a lot of, I mean, you guys will remember your entire lives how much additional stress and anxiety these situations have created, but how you succeeded anyway. And so if you took a few minutes and wrote some, you know, some advice and some words of encouragement that we could share with, you know, students entering in September, and I'm sure entering under just as difficult circumstances as we have now, something like that would be helpful. I mean, of course, actively recommend your university to other people that you know. So, you know, just stay in touch with your professors. I say this about 300 times in every class I participate in. You know, networking, and especially you guys understand networking better than anybody. And, you know, networking with your colleagues includes now networking with your professors. And so if you're working on a project and you want a second opinion, send me an email, send Marina an email, send some, right? Hey, what's your opinion about this? Hey, I'm having a problem with that. Hey, do you remember how to do this? Because, you know, you study, you learn how to do 1,000 things in a university, and then 999 of them you don't use. And then suddenly you have to use something you learned at a university, but you can't quite remember. Well, you know, send an email and say, hey, can you help with this? What's your opinion about that? And this kind of communication is really good because, you know, this way we not only stay in touch with your success, but you're able to give something back to the university. And I'm telling you, the best thing you can give back to the university is just to be, you know, a really highly successful, highly respected person, because that reflects well on all of your now colleagues, right? Professors, administrators, we're now colleagues. And that reflects well on us, our philosophy, our ethics, your philosophy. So, that would be the only thing to keep in mind. I'm a member of 2 alumni associations for my 2 universities, and there I always get the most wonderful responses to all of the interaction I have with the school, especially when I'm recommending the school and I'm writing, little words of advice for students. I can't communicate with my professors because I think they've all retired by now, but we're still here, so you could communicate with us. So that's the sort of, we're all like a big academic family now. So keep us informed of your success and do what you can to promote the university, because you guys know from personal experience, we're not just a school that teaches classes and you pay us tuition. You think back on all the interactions you've had with all of your you think back on all the interactions you've had with all the professors and all of the, whether it's the full-time faculty or adjuncts like me, and I see now my friend Henry Sterenberg has joined. You think back on all the interactions, and we're not just a school that teaches classes and charges tuition. We're really dedicated to people. We really have big hearts as well as first-rate minds, and we're really trying to do things and help make your lives better, help make Ukraine better. There's again another shout out for Henry. So that's the best thing our alumni can do. Just be successful and lead by example. It just makes us look good because you look good. So I love all of you. Thanks, and say hello to Henry here, who's certainly become an instant fast friend of our school.
Not instant. It wasn't instant.
No, it's been a year or 2, but like time goes
we
by.
arranged exactly in time. Yes, thank you.
How about you, Henry?
Yes,
But
sorry,
a year is an instant to me.
Yeah, I've been on the road, and I just came back from governor's office in Kirovograd region. And interesting enough, we did speak about Business Media Network. They're going to be our first oblast that will take up Business Media Network as their platform. We obviously have a lot of many municipalities already on. Paul, I really also great to see you as well. I haven't seen you in a while, so good to see some of our students. Vladislav, good to see you as well. So obviously, Paul, I love your new hairstyle. Obviously, rock is coming back, so which is good. And obviously, well, we all changed.
I'm looking professorial, and
Right.
Henry, I'm looking professorial.
Yeah, you are very much so. Yes, it's getting closer to Einstein towards the end of his life. So,
Paul, that's your story, and you're sticking by it, right?
That's right.
Exactly. So obviously, to me, this was a very difficult year for everyone, for obvious reasons. I believe the school, Concordia, have done a phenomenal job under very, very difficult circumstances to keep the momentum going of the school, as well as actually not only keeping the momentum, but also already making major steps forward, improving it. And I know you have received, I believe, I wasn't here first part, but I believe Natalie told me you did receive accreditation, Yulia, from Germany and for university, which is great. Is that the case, Paul?
Yeah, we are now in process of accrediting 2 programs, 2 bachelor programs at FIBA, German Accreditation Board, and we got already the report for our confirmation, and the results are very good, like 32 points meet the requirements and 17 criteria excess the requirements. So yeah.
Excellent. Great. Well, it obviously speaks volumes about the management and ability to deliver the value to the students. Obviously, this year I see Artyom here. Artyom is one of my most loyal students over this year. He's been, I think, in every class I had. So, and obviously, this was fascinating experience for all of us, especially with students. We have done a lot of work on what I think is going to become most critical for Ukraine's recovery. We see tremendous uptake by the mayors, by the businesses, by the projects of Ukraine using business media network that was built by the students of this university. And I speak on many stages now, from Washington to Kropivnitz today. I always talk about BMN and how proud I am of this particular project because of what the work the students have done. We believe, I don't have exact numbers, but Alexandra Kryukova, a student of Concordia, who is a CEO, she was only 18 years old now. And at some point she was managing over 60 people, 60 students in the program. And I think we had over 160 or something like this went through the whole program in the class. We kept many students, into our program. Several of them got hired now already, working for us, and we are about to receive a lot of funding, I hope, for what we've done. This is always a tricky part when you go raise money, but the interest we're generating, guys, is absolutely phenomenal. I've been working in Ukraine for many, many years, but nothing like we are seeing now on both sides, in Ukraine as well as internationally, of how interested everyone in Ukraine. And I believe what we have figured out together with students, how to make that work, how to bridge the gap between the lack of project, lack of understanding, lack of knowledge in Ukraine with the $1 trillion demand to come into Ukraine. And that's what we have done. I believe you will see the results in the next 12 months. But it's the reason I'm back in Ukraine now, and I'm moving back permanently after the road show, which is going to cover 32 cities. It's going to be called Rebirth of the Nation. First one in June 29th in Rotterdam. And where we're going to be, it's an investment roadshow. We will be presenting projects out of Ukraine. Business Media Network will be one of the projects will be presented in all over the world. Yes, Elaine?
Yes, Henry. Everything you've been saying, particularly what you've just mentioned, I would like some more detailed information, because the reason I'm so, of course, supportive of this, the alumni, but particularly I want to fast track UACU alumni like yourself and your colleagues into the Ukrainian government's process that's happening now, as you already know, but for accessing multilateral funding for the big projects. We're not talking about grants. We're talking about the major funding that the government of Ukraine will be seeking for every single sector in society.
Elaine, I thank you for that. And we definitely work at all levels of government. And I can tell you my position, I want nothing to do with Ukrainian government at the national level. And the reason is we work directly with municipalities. We see the growth in municipalities. We are going to drown in bureaucracy on the national level. We now see a reverse where the government comes to us and seeking for help. For example, and they will know. I would be very happy. Paul, I know you and I will be talking or meeting. So I'm going to be in Kyiv next week. But my point is, I will send information along. I'll ask Alexandra to do that. The one thing I want to mention before, maybe answer any questions, I want to point out to you all, and I spoke to Yulia, yourself, and members of the board and directors, and I spoke a couple of days ago to Natalia, who's been phenomenal since day one. Since I started in Concordia, Natalia was a rock for me. And we spoke about new program that we want to launch, that we discussed. We want to launch this in January of the 24th, which I wanted to separate from the existing program that Concordia has, and to make this as an experiment and a program of adaptive learning, where students actually learning, and within it's going to be month to month roughly, and they go into the world and practice it, what they learn. So we want to test that program. We want to launch it somewhere in January. As Elaine, what you have said very correctly, there's going to be a lot of capital, but not from Ukrainian government, directly from United Nations, USAID will be available for those type of programs.
Actually, let me clarify this,
Thank you.
because this is exactly what I've spent my whole career on. You're right. It's going to come from the what's called multilaterals.
Yes,
World Bank, European Development Bank, Japan, the Japan
sure.
funding. Okay. To separate, USAID funding does not flow directly to Ukraine. It only flows through US private sector entities.
Correct.
And so therefore, funding for programs and projects that are really important are going to come through the multilaterals like the
Correct.
World Bank and so forth. Now, when I mention the Ukrainian government, it is the Ukrainian government that asks for the funding from the multilaterals. To successfully ask that, they have to show something that they've not been able to do in the past, and that's called accountability and transparency.
Correct.
The very thing that you talked about, that Yulia talked about, and that Olga has talked about, and that is, for instance, with FIBA, UACU has been able to show accountability and transparency. Hence, that is how they proceed to get the accreditation.
Correct.
Okay, so for you, all I'm saying is I would like to know more so that I can make sure that you are part of that process.
Elaine, and this is
Sure.
what I'm coming to. And
Sure.
this-
Yeah, thank you very much, Elaine. I'm sure that Henry will share with you a lot of
No,
information,
Julia,
but now we
wanna-
will, yeah.
I want to be very specific.
Yeah.
What Elaine said in the last letter part is 100% correct. And you obviously know the reason we have said, there's a reason we set up Business Media Network as an American company. We clearly early on saw that company will play a strategical role in Ukraine, and that company as an American company now already done so and can demonstrate the results. Now, Elena, what I want to address to you is this, and Julia, comes on a strategic level of Concordia University. We now have 3 locations, in Kyiv included, where we are going to be building international campuses, which we're going to have multiple universities, as you and I and Paul discussed on multiple occasions. And that education is going to be always the main driver of transformation in Ukraine. And because of our resource, I'm not talking about just my own, but your resource, with many universities around the world, this is one of the things we're going to be accomplishing, but that's going to take a little time. Well, Elaine, what needs to be done now is very simple. I believe that Concordia University has an opportunity, historic, I would say, due to the times we live in and the Ukraine where we live in, where Ukraine is a huge brand now around the world, and we must take advantage of that opportunity by creating a vision to transform education of Ukraine. And I would be happy to share one slide, only one slide, to show you how.
Oh, no, don't show slides.
No,
It'll sound like a class meeting.
No, I apologize. I'm not going to show slides, but
I'm teasing. Henry, I'm teasing.
There's one slide that is all about how we see the transformation of education in Ukraine. And I discussed, Paul, with you and others multiple times, how we see that nothing have changed. And Elaine, to answer your question, I have offered this to Yulia, to the leadership, is Concordia, because of my involvement with the university. I'm looking for it because it is American, or partly. We are looking for it to take a leading role in that transformation. That means, Elaine, that everything, if we agree on and sign an agreement in that regard, with a joint vision document that we're all going to support and aim towards to get, this is where you will give a Concordia an opportunity in itself to apply for all the grant money that we can get from the World Banks, United Nations, and the like. And that's why Concordia can take a leadership role, because we can scale this education already through 570 municipalities, which will be over 1,000 by year end. And that's critical because Concordia must take a leadership of creating professional education, professional certification, first and foremost. And I've been arguing with my kids, my daughter just graduated today from UMass. She has a 4.0 GPA, which is the best my family ever had. But my argument always been 4-year education as a whole must change due to the fast pace of change that we all experience, like society never before experienced. And Ukraine in itself is going to experience tremendous velocity of change. And it's going to be driven by what tsunami that already started. I have a privilege of being on both sides and seeing very deep on both sides, and a financial tsunami that is coming to Ukraine, which is a very positive thing for the country long term. Short term, there's a big problem, but long term, it's extremely positive. Concordia must act now. Yulia, I am not kidding. I'm traveling, as you see on my LinkedIn, all over the world. Yesterday in Ukrainian house in Kyiv, I was approached by 3 American companies in Kyiv asking me to help. Right now, I was just leaving Krapivnitsk, and they have a huge aviation, used to be largest Soviet Union aviation university. Some of you might know. They wanted me to speak to the Ministry of Education and to set up international campus for from all of the world for related to aviation and space, aerodynamics, and all that stuff. So this is happening now. We cannot wait. And I can tell you right now, very simply, if Concordia University does not act or continue the same business model, the future is not going to be very bright for the university. Education globally changing dramatically. And we have to be at the lead of it, at the fear, because we can get a lot of money to fund what vision we will have together. On that, before I get too excited, thank you.
Well, Henry, I can add a few business-oriented comments. You know, I've been back here, I don't know, a month and a half or so, and I've in all the decades I've done business here, I've never been approached, as maybe Henry, you too, by so many companies from Europe and elsewhere coming to me saying, hey, you know, we want to build this, we want to buy that, we want to go into this business. How can you help us with this and this? You know, there's a huge private sector interest in Ukraine. You know, and again, it's not, you know, money's not going to fall from the sky, and nothing's going to happen overnight. But you know, from the perspective of our alumni, the impression I have is that economic activity is beginning to accelerate, and especially when we look out, you know, not near term, we're still in disaster mode, but when you start looking out at, say, a 2 or 3 year horizon, there's just huge investment funds waiting at the border, ready to come in and work on everything in the space industry, in IT, in agribusiness, and
Paul, everything is what's going to be
renewable
leading
energy. So,
Paul, what's going to be leading this is education. You're 100% correct. Education is leading before industries come. When I have dozens of companies that want to come to Ukraine, one of the first things they ask, how can we train our, you know, human resource?
oh, yeah. I should have clarified. I was referring to my private business. They're coming to me for my private business saying, you know, help me organize this bank loan, help me to build this, and help me to sell that. And what's the, you know, my normal financial consulting stuff. But Henry, your point's absolutely correct. I mean, the basic technology of education's changing globally, and in that sense, we're on kind of a cutting edge, because you know, hybrid education is here to stay. But Ukraine will very quickly, if all of these investment plans go forward, and I think most of them will, once the green light for EU membership is seen as a certainty, then it won't be that long before Ukraine finds itself in a human resource difficulties. You know, enough workers enough trained specialists, especially in, you know, the
Mhm.
professional areas. So yeah, there's both very positive news on the business side, and then we can see some challenges like in education coming forward. Anyway,
Thank
if
you
I
so
was a
much.
Ukrainian
But-
alumnus, I would stay here and you know, wait to work with all of these projects and companies. that are
Yeah,
coming in.
sure.
Ukraine is drowning in money. All the multinationals have pledged. By the way, Henry, I agree with you. Forget about the national government, but the whether it's multinational, private sector, everybody is coming in here with just vast amounts of money. I've never seen anything like it. Yes, Julia, sorry.
Thank you so much. I think that's the time to give some time to our alumni just to say a word. So you have heard so much from all of us, but we really want today also to hear your voice. Henry, thank you very much, and Elaine and Paul for your insights. So please, who would like?
Yeah, as a student who is managing this meeting, one of the students, I
Yeah.
can give the word to Alexander Deineko, PhD in economics and senior administrative assistant in UNESCO Ukraine. So yeah, he's on our list of honorary guests. So please welcome him on
A few
board.
minutes, colleagues, few minutes.
Okay. Well, Dr. Elaine Sarao, do you wanna continue this meeting right now?
Oh, and the only thing I'd like to say is I'd like to invite all of the alumni to look at how they would like to directly participate in the economic recovery of Ukraine. There will be so many different paths. Each of you have your own career trajectory. You are with companies right now that are interested in supporting Ukraine, that you are with international companies that are interested in making sure that they are engaged in the economic their economic interests, which can be aligned with the economic recovery of Ukraine. Just as Henry pointed out, a major path, but it is not the only path. There is going to be many, many ways in which to become engaged. And as Ukrainians and as graduates of UACU, you are in the prime position to literally roll up your sleeves and say, this is how I could become involved. It may not be on a very high level. It doesn't have to be. It just has to be involvement. As I have said before, both when I've lectured at UACU in Kiev, back in the good old days, and also online, the phrase is everything counts. There isn't anything that you do that doesn't have an impact. Look at how you can roll up your sleeves and become more engaged. Anybody has questions? I have my email address, and maybe Olga can throw it up
Just
there
now
on
I
the screen.
will, right.
Right, and just make sure you email me. I will respond, and we can take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elaine. Thank you.
Great, great. Okay, Alexander, are you with us right now? Do you want
Yes.
to continue our
I
meeting
will be
today?
concise. I am here to demonstrate that alumni of the Concordia University are not limited to the commercial sector, despite their courses being connected to business management. For all my career, I served in public sector, and for the last few years, I've been serving in the United Nations national public sector. Right now I am working with UNESCO helping to protect cultural heritage, freedom of press, as well as develop education in Ukraine. I share our United Nations vacancies in our alumni channel in Telegram. I'd be grateful if someone shares a link to the chat. That's basically it.
Cool.
Okay, great. Thank you for being so concise today. Okay, Artem
Yeah,
Yacek, do you
thank you
want
very
to?
much. Alexander is also teaching for our university, so a lot of students and alumni know him. I think that during his lectures, he also specifies his career details. So thank you, Alexander, for
Yes,
being
because
with us for a
the
long time.
skills you receive here, they are not only limited to commercial applications. Indeed, United Nations, for example, and the international projects have project management, project assistant, administrative positions where things we learn here are priceless.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much, Alexandra, that you found the time. I know that just now you are at the meeting. Yes, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Okay, great. Great. Coming back to the scenario, Artem Yacek, please welcome, executive assistant at the Kyiv Independent. So, do you want to share any words with us today?
Well, I'll be concise as well. Not that I have to share much since my path is only in its infancy, it's only beginning. But, I have to agree with the other speakers that, well, like compared to what it was even a few years ago, like from when I just started working, I see that a lot of things have already changed, especially in after February 22. So, I mean, I honestly feel very optimistic about the prospects in Ukraine, and yeah, that's what I have to say.
Good, great. So, our dear alumnus, who wants to come next? So let's keep it cozy, not just following this scenario. Anybody has any words to share?
Okay, I can take some words. I have not so much time, that's why I will first. Hello, my name is Hannah. I have graduated like 5 years ago. I know this because I have born a child, and in 2 days I have a graduate ceremony in university. That's why, sorry, that's why I really remember the time very, very clearly. After graduating from university, I worked in family business, selling garden equipment, different materials for our gardens, our houses. The most important for me was that university gave me a chance to combine building a family and building a family business in that time that I have studying, and it was very, very hard to combine, but all of lecturers helped me. And now we have some problems with import some positions in Ukraine because of our government. It is some problems and some difficult issues. And who I came to? I came to my lecturer, Rebelnik Alexandru. He was teaching us about economic relationships, and he give me that opportunity, that part that I never will I can say it. So I will remember this all of my year, of all of my life, I think so. And now I'm in Poland, and we have the business which is a representative of Poland business, and we import in Ukraine a lot of materials which are going on the war. and a lot of them we have in these quantities that we haven't even before the war in 12 years. 12 years we have working in this specific equipment, and never we have such quantities as now. That's why I think a lot of businesses from our university, from our alumni, help to Ukraine and help that they can. And now I started my own business, my own specification, like organization, professional organization. I help different women to organize their houses, and now here the same. I'm like all of fees are come from Ukraine. That's why it's like the economic taxonomy. So that's why we can say that all of our alumni now try to help Ukraine. It never minds where are we now. Something like this.
Great, super.
Sure, thank you very much.
Okay, thank
Anna.
you.
Anna was a very good student, very active student when she started at the university. And now every time when I see on Instagram your videos regarding organizing the just the household and everything, well, I'm just planning one day to take classes from you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay, thank you. Maybe
Yes,
somebody else wants to enter here.
Rona,
Hello guys, how are you
some
doing?
more-
yes, I wanted just to ask you just to take a floor and just where would like to return your memories to the educational process, the university, and so on. Please, your floor. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. It's nice to see you all. I hope you're all healthy. Yeah, so I was class of 2021. It was actually a very, very short time. For me, it really went by very, very quick. So at the moment, actually, I'm working as a technical consultant for an IT company that is based in the UK. But at the moment, I work in Southern Africa, mostly in Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Malawi. So I'm mostly on the IT technical side of things. I'm actually trying to move actually in a few months or so. So yeah, and most of our work, actually, we outsource some of our developers from Ukraine. So it's been actually having that relationship. I've actually built a relationship even from the country and the school itself. And I'm always even in contact with some of my fellow students that I went to the same institute with. So it's been actually a nice, wonderful time, and I really miss being in Ukraine. Maybe in a few years' time or one or two, if I can visit, I will actually come and visit and see what's happening. But I'm very, very happy to be where I am, especially with the degree I have. I actually did like a dual degree in the other specializing was IT. I'm actually surprised that is what I'm actually doing in life as of now. So actually helping me in life is where I'm trying to reach in my path. I'm trying to be a data scientist, hopefully in the coming few years. So I'm very pleased to be part of this. Thank you very much for having me.
Good to see you
Great.
again, Ronald.
Thank you.
Always good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's so nice to see you, and especially we started with English language because I received your email and we decided to invite a lot of international instructors because due to your presence. Thank you.
Great. So I see that almost all of our guests today have already presented, and maybe other people here do want to share any thoughts or words on our meeting, on our alumni meeting. I see that Mrs. Shalamai is also here. Also, Ms. Mostova, maybe you have anything to share with our dear alumnus today?
Okay, it looks like Olga is going to say a few words.
Yeah, go on. Whoever is next.
Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing before we.
I'm not, I'm trying just to fix some
Hi,
technical
Olga.
Oh,
issues.
okay.
Good evening. I want to say that I'm proud to be part of university for so many years. As far as you know, I got my bachelor degree, my master, then for now already 7 years as I'm like teaching there. And I'm on the 3rd year of my PhD program as well. For 6 years, I'm teaching in Jordan. This year, I've been assigned to run 2 schools as a head of humanities department in international independent school here, like high school, as well. I'm teaching microeconomics. And, you know, I'm proud to represent our university because the knowledge what I gained there, I'm now able to distribute to so many teenagers, those who graduated from schools. And I have good results in AP American program as microeconomics or IG, O-level, A-level business studies. As well, I'm participating in the Ukrainian house in Jordan, where we Ukrainians trying to help our country as much as we can, even though we are far away. And I'm sure we have a lot to do in future after the victory of Peremogha, which is coming soon, hopefully. And I believe that our graduates can do really a lot of impact, valuable impact into our country and community. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank
Wonderful.
you so much, Olga, and thank you for having been with us for so long time. And
Thank you for such an opportunity,
thank
Miss Julia.
you.
Thank you.
That's really a great honor for us. Yeah.
Well, as long as I can see, I think everyone has already presented. So, Elizaveta, maybe you have any comments, or we can wrap up here.
Before we finish, what
yeah.
I would like to ask all of you, if you are not against if we put some abstracts of your words in videos on our website and social media. If someone doesn't want this, then please make some notes in the chat or write to Olga. As always, we want to have our meetings in our memory, and that's the only possibility to do it, just to save videos and your words and everything. That's one thing. Another thing is that going through all this accreditation procedure, every time we need to get impressions from our alumni, not only about your successful careers in this information we have, and we are very proud of this, but another issue is to get your reflections and your understanding in what would you like to advise us to do to improve our programs. Maybe you feel that you have a lack of some knowledge of some practical skills, then please let us know, and we will be happy to include it, to consider, and to work for improvement in this or that area. Also, it would be good if you underline what subjects, what courses are the most important for you, or what you think we should include into our programs due to the development of technologies and everything. So we will be very thankful to you. Just not, it will not take much of your time. Just give us a short notice. I think we will understand what you mean, or just get back to you. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you very much, Yulia Yurina. And we have here the fresh alumni, like Arseny, who graduated this year. Maybe you will tell, as Yulia mentioned, some what we can improve really, because can tell just now all these things, and maybe for future for our work, it's will be rather useful for us, maybe.
Okay, well, that's a nice ending of our today's session. As for my own, like my personal suggestions, that's very hard for me to really speak on that, because my personal experience was very different from most of our honorary alumni here, because most of my education was constructed around the online approach, and I think just to make our courses more realistic and applicable in real life. For example, on some courses, we really study a lot of theoretical material that, for example, so I'm an international business major, and business is not about books. Business is about going out there and doing business. And it's impossible to do business when you're a second-year student, obviously. But if we considered more real examples of real companies or Ukrainian companies, that would be also helpful. I think that would drastically increase the efficiency of our degrees, because then once we go and enter, let's say, an international organization as a worker, or co-found or found our own business, then we will have particular frameworks that were given at the Concordia University that we can apply right away. So I think that's just the only comments I can make here.
Thank you. That's very important. Yeah, and I think you're
Good one.
absolutely right. Yeah.
I have also discussed with Olha issue about that alumni who works abroad, for example, don't have at this moment fresh knowledges about different issues in Ukraine. And maybe it will be like recommendation to make some meets with alumni and new course for alumni, like refresh some knowledges in some study.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's also a good comment. And by the way, I can see in the chat that Nasir is, I suppose that's one of our students, also wants to share some words. So please welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good
I'm
afternoon.
sorry, I was trying to find a place to speak, so I'm happy I'm here. Good afternoon to all of my teachers. This is Muhammad Nasser Walizad. I'm originally from Afghanistan. I came to Ukraine back in 2019. And I want to say my instructor, the first one, dear teacher Marina, she was the first person I met her when I came to Concordia, first floor dean office, and she gave me the supportive words. And time flies. We're almost done. We're done with the bachelor degree. And I just want to thank the university, my colleagues, classmates, for accepting me, listening to me. It was a good memory. Ukraine is also my second home. I'm in Germany, but I came from Ukraine a week ago, so I'm planning to go back. And it was an eye-opening experience. We had difficulties. 2021, 2022 was really hard with COVID and also war in Ukraine. But we had the opportunity to study, and we finished our degree. Also in Ukraine, when I came to Ukraine, it was hard for me to speak English, and I had the opportunity to study at British Council. After that, came to American University Concordia, and also I worked as a sales manager in Ukraine for the past 2 years, and still I'm working, and it's like nice experience. And I just want to comment about Ukraine. As an Afghan, I didn't know the language and everything was new for me, but it is possible to work there and also to find out what you're really passionate about. And especially nowadays, like the scope of like working, everything is getting bigger and bigger. And I'm just happy about the in terms of business in Ukraine. And also hope everything will be okay in Ukraine as soon as possible, because I know how hard it is. Since I know my left and right hand, it is happening in my country, Afghanistan, and we lost a lot of our relatives. And it is possible to build the country, to work on the construction, also business. But I hope everything will be get better as soon as possible, because the friends, families we are going to lose, it's not possible to get them back. And I just wish all the best for my teachers and hope you are doing well and safe. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
So nice.
thank you
So
very much.
nice to hear these words and to see all of you guys. Thank you.
Let us just online.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Okay, that's quite a warm ending of our today's meeting. I think we can finally wrap up after the comments and such warm words from one of our students. And from my side, as one of the students who is also graduating, thank you very much for coming to this meeting today, and also for all the 4 years that you've been teaching my group and me personally. I can see also many teachers here that taught me principles of entrepreneurship, macroeconomics, and so on and so on. Yeah, and just have a nice evening. Hope you remember Concordia University not only for this evening, but for the rest of your life.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you very much.
Have a nice
Very
evening.
Take care, everyone.
Yeah,
and
have a
I
nice weekend. And let's
during-
agree that we see each other like in October again, and summarize what you and we together have accomplished. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Yeah,
Bye.
and I would like to thank Arseny and tell thank you very much. He was the moderator of all our events. Thank you very much for you. Thank you. Thank you for everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Olga and Marina, for organizing, and thank you, Vladislav, and thanks to our guests, Paul and Elaine and Henry, though he has gone, he's busy, and thank you to all the alumni and students. Thank you.
They, Lisa also helped us. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you to Lisa. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Sure.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.